Hey guys, welcome back. So today it's not going to be like one of the readings that I usually do. I was listening to Audible and there's this book called The Cases That Haunt Us. And honestly, the author's name is, I'm drawing a blank on the author's name, but he's a retired behavioral, like FBI behavioral profiler. So this book is about notorious cases that have never really been solved. And as I was listening to it, I got to the chapter about Lizzie Borden, and I thought, I mean, I'm sure there's lots out there, but I have not seen a reading about whether she was guilty or not. So I thought that maybe I would do that today. So that's what this video is going to be about. Lizzie Borden. So let's jump right into it. As usual, I'm going to start with my prayer and then we will get started. I'm going to use tarot, and then I'm going to use an oracle deck to see if it can confirm some of the tarot stuff. All right. I graciously call upon my guardian angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, ancestors, and loved ones on the other side. I humbly ask you to assist me with the knowledge and answers I seek in this reading with the highest vibrational frequency as possible. I'm forever grateful for the gift of intuition that has been bestowed on me, and intend to use this gift for the highest good, healing, and to bring myself and others peace. Thank you for being by my side for this reading. Adonai. Okay. So just the same as I do my other readings, rows of 5 cards. Every row, typically every row is like a question. If I have multiple questions for the reading, but, oh, sorry. But, typically, yeah, like if I have a bunch of questions, every row will be a question. Or some questions do take multiple rows. Okay. Oh, interesting. So I was just starting to shuffle and then like 2 cards flipped up. So it has to do with the family life. I got the 10 of Cups. And if you guys aren't familiar with the Lizzie Borden story, she was charged with murdering her father and stepmother with an axe. And her story didn't really make a lot of sense at all. She claimed that she was in the back barn finding lead for lead sinkers. Now, I'm just going to say this happened in 1892. Okay, so it'll give you some context. And so she wasn't in the house when said intruder broke in and murdered her father and stepmother. Also, earlier that morning, before her father was murdered, the housekeeper asked her where her stepmother was, and she told her, oh, she's visiting her sister who's sick. And the housekeeper thought that was rather odd because Abigail would have let her know that. The type of person Abigail was, she wasn't someone to just randomly go out without it being planned in advance. And then after the murders, when the cops went to check in on this, they checked in with the sister, and she was not sick. Like, it was a complete bogus lie. Now, why would she lie about her whereabouts if she didn't have a very good reason to? That's where my mind went. And upon the discovery of Abigail's body, so Andrew Borden, the father, was found, so he was taking a nap, and that's when the killer got him. And it was one fell swoop that ended his life. He didn't have time to wake up. He didn't have time to struggle. Nothing. It was like instant death. And that was at 10 after 11 in the morning. Now, when they found Abigail, she was upstairs. Andrew was found downstairs in the living room taking a nap. Abigail was found upstairs. And her murder was there was way more struggle. So it was really messy. And they determined that she died at least an hour and a half before Andrew was murdered because of how her blood congealed. Back then, they didn't have the forensic know-how that they do now and the techniques that they do now. So that was how they were able to establish that she was murdered before, because when he was found, there was still blood seeping out of his wounds, which means like that he hadn't lost all of his blood volume, hadn't bled out yet. So it was quite fresh. And that would have also meant if Abigail was murdered beforehand, that the murderer stayed in the house after he kills Abigail for an hour and a half, doesn't kill Lizzie, doesn't kill the maid, doesn't kill the sister, the older sister. I believe her name's Emma. So like I smell a rat. Anyways, Lizzie was charged and she spent 8 to 9 months in jail before the trial, but she was acquitted. She was found not guilty. So, back then, I think that people found it really difficult to think that a female could do something like that. Nowadays, we know better. So my spiel is over. I just wanted to give a little insight into the story, if by chance no one has heard of it before. But it's pretty popular. Christina Ricci even played Lizzie Borden, and I believe it was like a series. Anyhow, that's what we're looking into today. And so it's interesting with the family card, with the 10 of Cups, and the 3 of Wands came out with it. And this has to do with foresight and progress and new horizons. So it's like, I feel like it's confirming, you're looking into the family life that on the outside was happy, to expand on the theory of whether she was guilty or not. All right. Cool. So I'm going to put these back in the deck. I don't believe they're part of the row, because I didn't even ask my question yet. So I'm going to start shuffling, going to ask the first question. Okay. Just thinking. It's all about how you ask the question. Okay, what I would like to know is, was Lizzie responsible in any way for the murder of her father and stepmother? Okay. So this is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. This has to do with mediocrity, low skills, a lack of focus, and a lack of desired output, amongst other things. But I feel like these apply. Okay, so that's the first card. Was Lizzie responsible in any way, shape, or form to the murders of her stepmother and father? A material offer. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, and so the family, this also has to do with resources and prosperity. And the Borden family was quite well off. Andrew Borden's estate was around $500,000. And for 1892, that's a lot of money. He would definitely be a millionaire in today's standards. So, okay. Ace of Pentacles. And, you know, we just had the Eight of Pentacles, too. Interesting. I don't think, or at least not that off the top of my head do I remember, but getting the moon and the sun together. They jumped out together. Wow. The reason why I'm saying wow is because the moon has to do with illusions and secrets and the unseen, things we don't know about, fears, all of that. The unknown. And the sun is one of the most positive cards out of the deck. And it has to do with success, optimism, and lo and behold, truth. So this is flat out saying, I'm going to shed some light on, on the truth. Shed some light on the unseen. Shed some light on the unseen. About this material offer. So, right off the bat, I'm kind of wondering if, yeah. I mean, like it was for money, like her dad was quite frugal. Although at the same time, he was pretty like, he didn't like, he was frugal, but when it came to getting gifts for his family, he wasn't that frugal. Like for Lizzie's 30th birthday, he got her this big extravagant trip to go and tour Europe. So, but I'm kind of seeing this as, yeah, we're shedding some light on the family's resources. You know, did she murder her father because she wanted his money? And obviously, if that was the case, she would want to take out the wife because she wouldn't want the wife getting what she thinks is owed to her, right? So anyway, that's kind of interesting, but we're not done yet, so I won't get ahead of myself. Last card for row one. abundance, the Empress. Specifically, like divine feminine energy, caring and nurturing, Mother Earth, maternal fertility. Like I said, Andrew's wife was Lizzie's stepmother, but Lizzie's biological mother passed away when she was 2 years old. So this woman raised her. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Second row. And we're still expanding on the question, was Lizzie responsible any way, shape, or form for her father and stepmother's murders? Another 2 cards popped out together. The Magician, upright. As well as the 6 of Pentacles. Here's another pentacle. We've got 3 so far. And there's a lot of major arcana cards. We've got the Moon, we've got the Sun, we've got the Empress, and now we've got the Magician. So the Magician is all about manifestation, willpower, turning visions into reality, resources. Resources is coming up again. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles, also resources. And funny enough, the 6 of Pentacles is underneath the Ace of Pentacles. So, focused creativity, manifestation, turning visions into reality, all of those things have to do with premeditation. You can't have any of those things without planning, at least in your head, what you want to do. You know, a highway, if you will, so you can focus your energy to something that's at the end of the highway. And giving and receiving. Sharing wealth. Material help. And community. Interesting. Okay. Let's keep going. Seven of Swords reversed. Getting caught out. Getting caught out. It's underneath the Moon. So for those of you who haven't watched my video where I explain like what it means when the cars are like when one is underneath each other in a spread, usually has to do with underlying energy, okay? And the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords also means secrets, and it's underneath the Moon, which also means secrets. And the Seven of Swords has to do with confession, conscious, and regret. So, yeah. So it's like the hidden secret, the underlying energy to this hidden secret is not wanting to get caught, or battling in your head, being like, you know, should I just confess? Like, they're going to find me guilty. A battle going on in your head. Like, what do I do? and feeling regret for what she did. Now, is it because she got caught? Is that what she's regretting? Not necessarily the act itself, but, you know, being like, oh, I regret that I got caught. I don't regret that I did it, but I regret that I got caught. Let's keep going. Five of Swords. Upright. Conflict. Disagreements. Winning at all costs. Aggression. Intimidation. Unfair defeat. And that is under the sun. So the sun's shining light on the unfair defeat that happened and the aggression that happened. And it was overkill. Like I said, Andrew was dead the first whack. But he had 10 other wounds to him. The person did not stop. The wife, the same deal. Overkill. Okay. Two of Pentacles reversed. Again, another pentacle. Crazy. Overextending yourself in imbalance, an overcommitment, or not being able to commit to something. That's underneath the Empress. And I think this has to do with the inability to commit to loving the stepmother or to accept her as, you know, whether you like it or not. She raised you. She's your wife or your father's wife. Like, you know, but it's like an inability to commit to do that. Like, I can't commit myself to love her. I'm sorry. Like, you know, from Lizzie's point of view. Queen of Pentacles. This is the third row, first card of the third row. So this is a nurturing, practical person, a homebody. Sometimes I get that it's like a single mom type energy. This person has a good business sense as well. And it is underneath, or yeah, this card is underneath the Magician. And that's all about turning visions into reality, making your thoughts actual things in the real world. So for me, it's like, I'm kind of feeling like this is Lizzie wanting to manifest her being this Queen of Pentacles person. You know, she didn't have like her own job. She didn't have her own family. She was, you know, in her early 30s. And in that time, you know, it was very uncommon to not have anything going on when you were that age. A lot of times people had adult children by then. So I feel like maybe she was coming from a place of, like, I don't have much going on. And I deserve to be this person that I fantasize being. But she's not able to do it on, you know, an honest way. Maybe she doesn't have the skills. And so she's like, well, whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes for me to manifest this version or this life for myself. Okay, let's keep going. Second card for the third row. Did Lizzie have any way, shape, or form anything to do with her father and stepmother's murder? The World, upright. Another major arcana card. This is underneath the Six of Pentacles, and which is underneath the Ace of Pentacles. This has to do with completion. This has to do with a sense of belonging and evolving to like the final person that you see yourself wanting to be. And for Lizzie, I feel that is this Queen of Pentacles character. It also has to do with like integration and having like a sense of belonging. Okay, I just slowly did this and the Devil came out. And this is underneath the row. The Moon is the first card, which is secrets. Getting caught out with the Seven of Swords reversed. And the Devil underneath it. Underlying energy to it all. Toxic, materialistic, shadow self, like attachments. From what I've heard of Lizzie's character, she could fall definitely under those categories. Absolutely. But, you know, so could any person that has done this heinous act would fall under that. So, all right, let's keep going. Four of Swords, upright. Gathering your thoughts. Figuring things out. But like in seclusion. You retreat because you got to figure something out. It can also mean self-protection as well. That is underneath the Five of Swords and the Sun. Okay. So this will be, oh, did it again. And then 2 came out. So, like I've said before in other videos, when 2 cards pop out together like this, what it is, or for me anyway, what it is one concept, but it requires 2 cards to make one concept. So, one is the Strength upright, which has to do with self-love and respect, courage, inner strength. Yeah, trying to influence somebody for the right reasons. And then the Nine of Wands is perseverance and resilience. And when you're close to success and you're like, I'm so close, I'm going to defend this to the death because I'm almost there. And I don't like if you can see the picture, but it's a warrior woman surrounded by her wands, being like, come and bring it. Come and bring it. Don't care if this kills me. Let's just do this. So it's interesting that strength also came out with that, because you need to be brave to be able to, you know, be the lone wolf. And you're like, okay, I'm taking on an army of many all by myself. You need strength for that. And this, I believe, is her. These are representing her on the docket. But she was tired. Now, at that point, she had been in jail for 8 or 9 months. So, because the 9 of Wands also means fatigued. So, like, yeah, you're ready to stand your ground, but you're fucking tired. Excuse me, sorry. You're tired. Okay. Just trying to think of another question. Okay, I'm just gonna. Is Lizzie Borden a murderer? Is Lizzie Borden a murderer? Lizzie Borden a murderer? Okay. I got justice, but in reverse. Yeah, and this has to do with being unfairness and dishonesty, retribution, lawsuits. Okay, let's get the others. Is Lizzie Borden a murderer? Risky investment. I've got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Another pentacle. This spread is made up of lots of major arcana, swords, and pentacles. Just right there, it tells me that you're killing for money. Was Lizzie Borden a murderer? Was Lizzie Borden a murderer? Okay, well, here's a different suit. This is the Queen of Cups. Upright. This has to do with intuition. The other meanings are like compassionate and warm and all of that, and that is not Lizzie. And I'm not just saying that because it's a possibility that she's a cold-blooded murderer. I'm saying that because in the book that I read, that was the behavior profiler's assessment of her, based on what people said, how she acted, all that. So this card, in this instance, is just meaning intuition. And it's underneath the Devil card, which was originally, the first card for this row was the Moon, which is secrets. Is Lizzie Borden a murderer? Okay. Six of Wands. This has to do with success. Yes. Praise. rewards, triumph, victory, achievement. I believe that this is a yes card. It is positive to my question, was Lizzie Borden a murderer? And it is under the sun row. Truth. Like, this is the first card of the row, like going down. So I have one card that I go left to right and I read it left to right. And then as the rows go, the cards underneath the top row have to do with each other. And so this was the first card to the top row, which is truth. Like, I don't know. They can't really get much clearer. Okay, let's just finish off this row with one more card, and then I'll pull the oracle. Is Lizzie Borden a murderer? Okay, so 3 cards popped out. So same idea before as with 2 cards popping out at once. That's 2 cards creating one concept. This is the same thing, but 3. So first of that is the 2 of Swords reversed. And this is time to make a move, stalemate, conclusion to be had. The 2 of Wands reverse is plans falling apart, playing it safe and avoiding risk. And this is the 8 of Cups reversed. And this has to do with fully learning from the past and home and a fear of change. And yeah, I feel that just one sec, sorry. Plans falling apart, small thinking. Yeah. So I think this is going forward. And this also has to do with, I think, like how she was feeling after the trial. Playing it safe. The 2 of Wands reversed also means playing it safe. And the 2 of Swords, well, this was the first card out of the 3. This has to do with reaching an impasse. Like, okay, it's jury time. It's deliberation time. It can go one of 2 ways. The 2 of Wands reversed also has to do with, I think, so Lizzie never took the stand in her own trial. And I believe it was the lawyer's idea to play it safe. Let's not give her the opportunity to screw this up for us at all. Avoiding risk. Yeah, avoiding risk of her saying something that's going to possibly make her look totally guilty. Or coming across in a way that's going to make her look like, oh yeah, I could definitely see her doing that. And the 8 of Cups is has to do with her returning home. That's one of the definitions of this card, is returning home. And that's what she did. Her and her sister they each got half of their dad's estate and the properties and all of that and the businesses. in the house. And she returned home. So, based on that, I'm going to just grab my oracle deck and we'll just see what that has to say. Hang on one second. Okay. So, oh, I dropped a card. Okay, so I'm using my Dark Mirror or Oracle cards. Okay. Let's get 3 cards regarding this reading that we just did on Lizzie Borden. Okay, so we've got 18. Oh, Naked Before the Stars. Feeling that that's kind of representing her being on trial. Oh, Gilded Regret. When something's gilded, it means it is coated in gold. Okay, so we've got, again, 2 cards popping out at the same time. I mean, that happens. Like, it's not, it's very, it happens a lot. But honestly, I don't recall it happening this much, and at least in a long time. Okay. Envious Gluttony. So being greedy. That is another thing. Okay, so when they were investigating the murders, it was, and by Lizzie, kind of dropped the idea that, oh, we were broken in, our house was broken into last year, the summer before, in 1891. But the dad and the authorities were pretty sure that it was actually Lizzie that did it. Fast forward a year, and it's like the murders happen, and when they're trying to figure it out, they notice, like Lizzie mentions, I think somebody's been poisoning us. I think our milk is bad. So they test the milk. It was fine. And then she says, well, I saw a guy like running away from the house, trying to imply that somebody broke in and the motive was robbery. Mind you, Andrew had $80 cash on him, which was a lot of money for back then. Their jewelry, like nothing was taken. So, being greedy. Yeah. And then calling the storm. Well, actually, like I said, these came out together. So they're going to be 2 ideas to make one concept. So I'm going to look into the guidebook and then see what they specifically say. First card is card 18. Naked Before the Stars. There is no perfection that is worth enough. There is imperfection as proud as the heavens. So, yeah, this definitely can be meaning body image, how you view yourself. But in this instance, I believe it's representing Lizzie trying to pass herself off as this loving daughter who could never be capable of doing such a heinous crime. And also, Naked Before the Stars is like, you're being judged. Your character is being judged. Your past is being judged. Every decision and action you do is being judged. And that is kind of being like bearing it all for everybody to see and to pass judgment. So what do we see when we look in a mirror? Do we see something? Do we see something we like or something we dislike? Something we care or something we slave of? What do we compare ourselves to? To the stars of a media firmament leaking into our real life? To the social models? To the beauty queens and kings of the eternal pageant? To our inner self? To the idea that we had when we were younger? To the eyes of the other people loving us? I wonder what feelings the words curvy, cute, chubby, fatty, rounded arouse within us. Okay. So Lizzie was a full-figured girl. She wasn't considered the belle of the ball. That's all I'm going to say. So I think I would assume that perhaps it's a possibility that she could have not had a lot of love for herself. And maybe that fed her greediness, right? Like, something's missing inside. I need to fill the void somehow. That kind of thing. If a smile or distaste or recognition, the quest for beauty is not an empty quest. Even if beauty is not as deep as the ocean, still, when we shine, our world becomes brighter. Yeah. Interesting. Oh. Okay. Gilded Regret, number 5. My card's just all over the place. Memories are like floating underwater, safe, warm, and murky. Yet they held... Oh my God. I'm going to repeat this. Memories are like floating underwater, safe, warm, and murky. Yet they held the scent of death. The cage of our memories is the most gilded, lingering to the past, savoring crumbs and flashes, hints and ifs. But, the word but is our sword. However, is the word of our shield. We follow the river against the currents to a sea of maybes. We cannot say, life is here and now. We just say, life was here. So that even when the future builds, day by day, we still look backward to memories and possibilities. Options we missed, things we lost, changes we fled. It is like saying in the twilight of consciousness, or conscience, in the blessed state of those 5 minutes between the time the alarm rings and when you actually have to wake up. Like little kids between the time mom calls and the time we need to wake up and run. But those 5 minutes are taking up too much time. They are the drain of our energies, of our opportunities, and of our future. The ifs are now gone. Whatever has been has already, isn't it? Yeah, and I feel that that was her frame of mind after it happened. Why dwell on these feelings of regret when I can't do anything to take it back? Also, I beat a murder charge, despite a lot of people thinking that I was guilty. Or, sorry, I'm speaking as if I was Lizzie. Yeah. Okay, envious gluttony, number 9. Oh, envious gluttony. So, also how I said that maybe she didn't have a lot of confidence in herself. Envious gluttony, it's like there was a part of her that was jealous. Maybe even jealous of her stepmother in this weird way, you know, like, you at least have a husband. I don't. You know, like, yeah. Sorry, this is just my brain connecting dots. Number 9. Envious gluttony. This card is not just dark, it is unpleasant. Sickly, disgusting. The difference in how we feel in front of a vampire as opposed in front of writhing bugs. It's not an existential darkness that we paint of romance, drama, and subtle anguish. It is raw, primal, reeking of rotting stench. It feels like there is darkness, and in that black landscape, there is a hole leading to an even greater darkness. And that is calling. The urge is pressed down every time, played with, toyed with, treated like something that doesn't belong here. It's like rolling in the mud, bringing out the twisted, refreshing feeling of demeaning oneself. She did not have a lot of self-esteem at all. The key is that we don't want to recognize the depth of the envy and the anger. We casted it out of ourselves, and now it's truly a parasitic monster, impossible to accept as something that came out of ourselves. What if we bring light to the pitch dark? Well, what if the scary monster is just a scrawny, starved feeling? What if it's just a little thing, dark as tar indeed, but to be sorry of, not to be feared? Well, in Lizzie's case, it absolutely should have been feared. Yeah. Her inner demons take control of her. And I don't mean it in any, like, way that she isn't culpable. I'm not talking like a spirit has possessed her and she has no control. I mean, like, her inner darkness, her shadow self, she just let completely drive completely. Last card, Calling the Storm. And that is card 30. Okay. Pull and release, push to the limit. The eye is the only peaceful place that can be. There is a time to find and release our power. Like a spring that had been compressed to the point it had lost the memory of motion and movement. Yet there is power inside it. Finding it is called empowerment. It starts from the belief in our power, in our ability to cope, to fight, to endure, to overcome a challenge. However, too often we are encouraged to see empowerment as something that happens only within, in our psychological space. We are not necessarily islands. We can borrow the power of the world around, the context, the environment, and the expectations. We do not control the storm, we just call it. So, yeah, just one sec. Yeah, so these feelings had been brewing inside of her for so long that she wasn't able to stop that anymore. She sorry about that. She she had to give in. She could not contain herself anymore. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I always had a feeling that she was totally guilty. And this reading has convinced me. There was a part of me before that was maybe on the fence. But I don't think it is. Anyway, that was interesting. That was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing and maybe giving me a thumbs up. That would be super helpful, especially in these early days. But only if you resonate with it. And only if you liked it, of course. So, with that being said, I will bid you adieu and see you next time. Bye.